All right. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Welcome back. This is Tea Time with the Twins. I'm your host, Maggie.
And I'm Anna.
And this is our second episode.
Cheers.
Hold on.
Why do you say it like that? So today's tea that I am drinking is a mixture of nettle leaf and is it reishi mushroom? Is that how you say it? Reishi? I think it's reishi.
Whatever, we'll find out.
But it is for immune health and joint health and just balance.
I'm drinking lemon ginger. Everyone knows it's for your digestion.
The favorite
Super
tea.
good. That's like I always put 2 tea bags in my tea, except for this time. But I always lemon ginger is like is the one that's always in there, and then I'll add like another flavor. But just today, I'm just keeping it simple. So the basis of this episode / topic is going to be talking about our own personal fitness journeys, but we're going to dive way back when to our younger years when we were talking about self-image, self-esteem, eating disorders.
What not to think when you look at yourself in the mirror.
We are also going to be talking about my experience with Weight Watchers. Watch out. And then what else? Oh, and then we're going to talk about
Like college,
our college era, and just talk about cycle syncing with workouts. So let's get started.
So to begin, we're going to try not to say as much because it took probably, guys, when we edited the last video, I think our total length was 45 minutes long, and I edited out 15 minutes worth of the word
And probably literally
and like
actually.
So we're gonna fix that.
So we're gonna change that one. Also, thank you for all the support from our first episode.
Yeah.
That was
We have like a little bit over 100 views.
Yeah,
on
I thought
YouTube.
we were gonna get probably like 15.
I know.
So I'm happy. So I just want to say thank you.
Okay, so just to deep dive into it, basically when we were growing up, Maggie and I had a very negative view on ourselves and our bodies. We were always a little bit heavier set growing up, and we were obviously well aware of it. And besides being well aware of it ourselves, we were also told by various people. They decided to tell us what they thought about us and our weight, which was
Also, like society, just as a whole, there's a stigma that like your worth is based on what you look like, specifically,
and your weight.
Well, I was gonna say specifically your weight.
Yes.
So that was just like, that was something that was always instilled in us at a younger age. Your worth is whatever number's on the scale.
Yes.
So it's very unhealthy.
And social media didn't help with that because, and I know this is how it was for many girls, but you're growing up seeing all these Instagram models, how they have skinny fat stomachs and no cellulite. And then you're like, wow, what am I? So it was just like very, very negative body image.
Very negative mindset. Basically just like no sense of self-worth. So just to like get into it, that's how we viewed ourselves, number one. Number two, growing up, we weren't really like, taught a lot about the mental or emotional side of the effects of like what other people say about you and like your self-worth or how you view food. And so we grew up with like a very unhealthy view on food. And when I was younger, how I looked into it was like, okay, I don't like myself and I feel like crap about myself. But for me, I would overeat to kind of compensate for what I was feeling like. And I thought it was bringing me comfort, but I would eat like, obviously like really horrible food for me, like sweets, like candy, sugar, all this crap. And that was my way of trying to make myself feel better. However, that like, obviously there's a tumble effect. You eat crappy foods and you feel like crap and it's just like a repeated cycle. That's how I dealt with the uncomfort of myself.
Yeah, we were using food as a coping mechanism for feeling bad about ourselves and feeling negative towards our bodies, essentially.
I want to be very careful with like how I use my words, because I don't want it to seem like I'm playing the victim, but it was like definitely, looking back now, there's definitely an eating disorder. But I didn't know what that, like, I literally was never taught that. I had no idea what that was. That came to light a couple years later. So beside knowing that and just having that negative self-image of ourselves, we also had some people that we grew up with would reach out to family members and just make comments like, oh, you know, the girls are looking really big now, or like, oh, the twins, they put on weight. And I'm just like, one, why are you saying that? Because who are you? And number two, like, I'm a young child. I don't know if you realize the weight that puts on someone in that age, because you are in such a developmental stage of your life where that's going to stick with you forever, or that's going to stick with the person that you're saying that to forever. And it did.
And it sometimes still does,
and it stuck for a very long time. And it's just, when you don't know anything about anything, your life kind of crumples a little bit because you have no self-worth. And so that was hard growing up. And that's something we had to deal with. And it was not easy to go over that. And there are still times where I'm kind of mentally dealing with that, but I've gotten a lot better. I'm just going to kind of dive into the little Weight Watchers scenario. I'm going to be calling them out in case you're wondering. So
That's not good.
Senior year of high school, I decided to join Weight Watchers because I was like, you know what? I want to get control of my life. I want to keep track of everything I'm eating and have someone hold me accountable, or like an app or whatever hold me accountable. And so I decided to join. And I'm just going to give you a little scenario of what it looked like. So this is from my personal experience, and just how I felt that this was how their program went. There would be a meeting every single week. And before every meeting, everyone would have to line up and do their weigh-ins. And they would do this in front of every single person there. And it'd be like a man, or sorry, well, yeah, actually there's sometimes men there doing it, like weighing you. And then there's women.
That's so awkward.
It's so awkward. Whatever.
Just to clarify, Maggie did this on her own. I don't know why I didn't choose to do it,
I'm happy that you didn't.
but I'm so glad I did not.
Anyway,
But, yeah.
so we would all line up. We would get weighed, and then they would like keep track of your progress or whatnot. And so like if you lost weight, they'd be like, oh my gosh, congratulations, you lost like a pound or 2 pounds or whatever. And then like everyone would be like, oh, good job. But if you gained weight, everyone would be like, yeah. But if you gained weight, I specifically remember this one moment. I gained 0.3 pounds. 0.3. And this woman like writes it down. She like looks at the scale number. She's like, honey, you put on 0.3 pounds. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. It was like, and literally everyone in the room got quiet, and I felt like literal crap about myself. And I was like, oh dear Lord. And then I would go home and then literally starve myself until the next week's meeting. And it was just so unhealthy. Like I remember eating the day of weigh-ins, I would eat like maybe an egg for breakfast or a banana for breakfast, and then lunch would be a handful of almonds, and then I wouldn't eat anything until weigh-ins. And then after weigh-ins, when I knew I passed the test of this judgmental woman, I would just binge, and it was so unhealthy. And then a lot of the times they would give you a pamphlet for yourself to keep track of everything, and how they had it set up. If you reached a certain goal weight, you would get rewarded with something like a keychain. In my head, how they were teaching people to lose weight was to do it for a reward. And it was like, you do this, you get a prize of something. And that's not how it is in real life. And that's what was something that I was struggling. Because I'm like, you're going to have a lot of silent victories in your life. And there's going to be no one there watching you. There's going to be no one there to cheer you on or clap for you. And you're going to have to it's an own personal victory, which is like good for you. That was something Weight Watchers dismissed. And I just like, I felt like that was just so negative. Yeah, they're kind of like shaming you into losing weight or just kind of like scaring you into losing weight rather than actually supporting you into wanting to have a healthier, more purposeful life long term.
And that also kind of plays into the whole fact that going back to Maggie's silent victories is like, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. It's you versus the person you see in the mirror. Wherever you're at in life is because of the choices that you have made. So if you're living a really pathetic life and you're lazy and you don't have any goals or dreams or purpose, but then you get mad at yourself because that's where you're at, guess what? That's your fault because those are the choices you made. But that only means that you're the one that's in control. And so DPR, but legit, you're the one that's in control. So if you were capable of making the choices to lead you to this life that you don't love, then that only means that you are capable of making choices to lead you to the life that you do love. Period.
Wow.
Period.
Wow. That was my first jump into the health and fitness world, and it was
A horrible way to start.
And so I did end up losing like 10 pounds or something, but it was in the most unhealthy way ever. And then when I went to college the summer after that, the freshman 30 hit, not 15-30.
Speaking of college, don't even make me started.
Yeah, we're just gonna. I mean, this is perfect little dive into college because this was
Not
things
good.
didn't go up.
Things did not go up. Besides the
from there.
freaking number on the freaking scale. I won't name drop where I went to college, but I'm sure a majority of you guys know because you all went there with me. I'm just gonna point blank call out the cafeteria. Guys, it was bad. So I'm gonna set a little scene for you. Imagine that you're that kid in the movie who goes to a school cafeteria for the first time and they grab their little tray and they step into line and the mean old cafeteria lady,
Happy Tuesday.
like, comment, and subscribe if you get that. That's so funny, Maggie.
Thanks. I try.
Anyway, you get in line at the cafeteria and cafeteria person literally scoops out mush and plops it onto your plate. That was literally the food that was served to us at this cafeteria. Yes, I was thankful.
I was thankful to have food on my.
But the thing that was really frustrating though is that this food was just destroying us mentally, physically, and emotionally. And the big thing that upset me the most was that it was close to impossible to get off the meal plan. So you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for food that is ruining you.
Like, our gut health was destroyed for probably like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. The effects that we were feeling from this food were just constant, insane brain fog. I was drinking like 3 cups of coffee during college because I was so exhausted and had no will to live. My stomach aches were brutal. There was a couple points in college, I think around like my junior, senior year, where I was like, you know what, I'm done. Like I remember sitting in my bed one day and I was like, I do not remember a single day where I felt good or healthy in any aspect of my life. I was like constantly just so
Like brain fog,
like everything, headaches, nausea. And then with that,
exhaustion.
yeah, with that came anxiety and panic attacks because I was like, what the frick is wrong with me? So I went to a couple of doctors while in college to get my blood tested and to just kind of figure out what the problem was. And I think I went to like 3. And every single one of them said the same exact thing. Sweetie, your blood test came back normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly healthy. And I'm like, bro, I'm not healthy. Clearly I'm not. Like, I know it. Everyone knows it. I'm not healthy. I'm like, this isn't what healthy should feel like because I can't even think straight and I want to cry every day of my life.
I specifically remember this one time. I think this is post a doctor's visit. We go up to Josie Wren's room. Josie Wren, best friend since very young age. Shout out.
Yeah.
Love her. She is currently a nurse, and she's a traveling nurse. Slay. I remember Anna, or we both go up to her room, and Anna's like sobbing to Josie. And she's like, I think I'm dying.
I literally thought I was dying.
And then Josie's like, okay, like, what are you like feeling?
Because
like?
also,
And of course, Josie's like perfect and calm and like such a queen.
I know. And I'm like,
And I'm just like sitting there in the corner. I'm like, but Anna's like, my heart's racing. Like,
I was like, I feel like I can't breathe. Like my chest is tightening up and it's like burning. And she's like,
it's like, sweetie,
it's called the panic attack. And I was like, oh,
it's a panic attack. But it was funny because, like, why were we not taught about panic attacks?
I know.
You know?
But I was
funny.
literally, but that's the thing though. I was getting all of these panic attacks and all this anxiety because I felt like there was something, well, I knew that there was something wrong with me because of the way that I've been feeling constantly. So that's when I kind of knew, and it kind of confirmed for me that it was the food that I was eating, because food is supposed to be a nutrition and it's not supposed to be.
Food is medicine and food is healing.
Yes. And it's not supposed to be declining your life.
So besides the fact that we were eating plastic, we were also drinking excessively.
Yes.
And I am not
And me
proud
in
to
college,
admit that.
like, alcohol's not bad for you. It's how
I
you
know.
have fun.
And
We drank
we drank
every day.
I know, it would be
Low-key.
like a couple glasses of wine at night 'cause it's like so cute and girly with like chocolate and like
But
a
then-
rom-com.
But then every Wednesday, we're like, happy hour.
Yeah. And then the weekend. So it was just like a ton of unnecessary drinking, which also has no good health benefits, as everyone, I hope you know that. And so we were doing that. And then we were like working out, but it wasn't working out for us at that point in time was a punishment for the things that we ate and we drank. And it wasn't out of enjoyment or the fact that we're like, oh, you know what? I want to work out because I can work out. This is what my body can do. So it was like, no, you ate like crap. You're going to go suffer in the gym.
And I also would use it to like cure, I thought I would cure a hangover because I would just sweat out everything in the gym. And I'm like, oh, hangover's done. Calories don't count. Let's go.
2 hours later, you're like dying.
Dead.
Because we knew nothing about nutrition at that point, our workouts were essentially not doing anything for us. It was like eating like crap and then working out to try it and burn it off. But because our food was so horrible, nothing was happening. And our body's just like
Stayed.
stuck in the same place. And so that was also like, for me, I was like, okay, like I work so hard, I work out so hard, but like nothing happens. So in my head, I was like, I will never achieve the body I want or like the health that I want. Sorry, do I smoke? Anyways,
Also, we vaped. I forgot about that. We heavily vaped for like 6 years.
that is my biggest regret
I know.
in life.
I'm not proud of it.
I forgot about that. Don't worry, my lungs are so healthy now. Oh, thank God.
I remember I'd be running in the gym, wheezing, like my lungs were like crisping as I'm trying to breathe. And I'm like, I don't think that's normal.
I literally thought, I was like, oh, if I run a mile, which I could barely do, I was like, that's exercising my lungs and reversing the damaging effects of the vape. So I was like, it's okay. And so essentially right before we graduated, we were in this mindset that graduating college was going to be the best things of our life. And so we had this,
I was like, my
vision.
life starts
now. And for some people who prepared, they probably did get this, but I didn't. And I take ownership. I had this vision in my head that I was going to be like, get my dream job right after college, move into an apartment, get a car, have like all these friends. Still don't. But no, actually, that's what I thought.
Yes.
And reality check hit. I realized I was broke and I literally did not prepare. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm moving back home and starting the job searches.
But also, like, the fact, it's not only that we didn't prepare, we literally just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We did not put the
work
lack
in.
of preparation into action.
I don't think that made any sense. So, college, trying to find a job, being rejected multiple times, having to end up working a job that just, it was a manual labor job. There, I said it. I admit it. So basically, all of that negative energy that was coming into my life was taking a toll on me, just like not being able to find a job, working really hard hours for nothing. And that took a toll on my mental health. And so I started going back to younger me and was like, you know what? I'm going to just eat to cope with these feelings. And I got to a point where I was very heavy. It does take a very huge mental toll on yourself and your body image. I was extremely unhappy with myself. I was always very uncomfortable in my body. And I was just like, you know what? I'm freaking done. Like, I'm done. I want to feel good about myself. And it was just like this flip in my brain. I don't know what happened, but I just decided to start making changes. And so it was something I always heard was when it comes to fitness, it's 80% diet, 20% gym. And I always thought that was some weight loss fad. And so I like kind of ignored it. But I mean, I was still like eating healthier and just like cutting back on stuff. And I think like a month or two in, I lost like 10 pounds or something. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. There was this time period where we went about like 2 or 3 weeks of not working out, but we were still eating like really, really clean and just being really good with our portions. And we like dropped weight. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, wait, this is actually true. I was like, yeah, let's maybe start going to the gym again or just start working out, because we were originally just working out in our basement.
We were doing workouts like just out in our driveway or in our basement.
Those were actually so fun.
Those were so fun, but there were a lot of like HIIT workouts, cardio workouts, and none of it was heavy lifting. So I said to Maggie, Maggie, let's get a gym membership. I don't know about you guys, but the gym is an intimidating thing. I was like, we signed up online, and it took us probably a week or maybe even more to actually like go
mentally prepare.
I know, to go pick up our little gym key fob and then go work out. But when we did, I literally fell in love with the gym. Like, the gym is my first love. There's all of this new equipment that I've never seen before, and I was like, wow. Like, we can do great things in here. So basically what started happening after that, we combined our super clean eating with the gym, we started putting on a ton of muscle. And like Maggie mentioned earlier, once we did a lot of research, we learned that when it comes to working out, you're supposed to start with heavy lifting and then end with cardio, because what the cardio does at the end of the workout is it burns body fat, but it helps you keep lean muscle, and it also breaks up your lactic acid.
The thing that was just so cool about everything, which really changed my mindset and view of myself, was like, I set out to do something and I did it, and I put a ton of hard work into it and I accomplished it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have discipline, number one. And number two, I was like, wow, I can actually do hard things. And it was cool to see, because I never viewed myself like that.
And it kind of goes back to what Maggie said about the whole Weight Watchers fad, how they reward you with a keychain for doing something great, losing a pound. But like, to me, the reward is knowing myself that I can do it, and seeing the difference in myself and my behavior and my mental state and my body. So that's more of a reward to me than a keychain, you know?
Although we looked our best and we looked super fit and healthy, internally we weren't necessarily, because we were in the mindset we're like, you know what, let's just eat all the protein we can get. So it was just like a ton of protein bars, protein powder, energy drinks, lots of salads,
Processed meat.
The
thing that we were doing is we were focusing too much on the number of grams of protein that we were consuming rather than looking at the ingredients. And that was mistake number one.
That stuff is so bad for you.
Yeah.
So bad for you. It's full of toxins and chemicals that really trigger your body, especially female bodies. This next part, this is mainly for the gal pals. However, we were discussing, we encourage the men to watch this part because I think this is something that everyone should be educated on. We're going to be talking about like women's cycles. I get very irked when men find periods disgusting because I'm like, it literally happens to every single girl. It's happened for the beginning of time. When you really learn about it and know all the facts and everything, it is actually a really cool thing what our bodies are doing. So with that being said, I'm going to continue. Internally, we were just not doing okay. For example, when my periods would come around, they would last like up to 9 days. Severe cramping, severe mood swings.
Like I track my period, but I always knew when it was coming around because for a week straight, I would get like super depressed.
And
like,
also just pissed off.
This world is like coming to an end. Everything's dark. And then I started period. I'm like, oh.
Despite the fact that society normalizes all of these symptoms and that your periods are the worst thing ever, it's actually not normal. Your period is not supposed to be the worst thing ever. A lot of the reasons it is, though, is because of the foods that you're eating. We learned was women go through 4 different cycles repeatedly throughout their entire life. And we're going to start with menstrual cycles. So that's days 1 through 5. And this is the elimination of your uterine lining. Naturally, you're going to feel a little down. This is where you really need to prioritize resting. Even though you really want to go to the gym and be a gym baddie, you need to control yourself and rest. You can do like long walks, stretching.
You can still work out, but just like
tone it down.
Very minimal.
Because like your body inside is working extremely hard.
And also, when you overwork yourself at the gym whilst on your period and like during your menstrual phase, that also triggers your hormones and makes them imbalanced. Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind.
Nutrition wise, you want to stick to like lean protein, berries, melons. If I ever feel the need where I want something sweet, I just take a spoonful of honey and eat it plain.
Or what we do is we get a glass of raw milk from Detweiler's. You can get it from any farm and co-op thing, but a cup of raw milk and you put some honey in there and you stir that bad boy up and it is so good. Also, I just want to emphasize again to some of the symptoms not being normal. Your period should not last 9 days and you should not be heavily bleeding for 9 days. They should last like, tops 5 days.
Yeah, tops.
And like heavy bleeding should only be the first couple of days and then just be chill after that.
So the next phase that you enter into I think I'm saying this correctly, the follicular phase. And those are the following 4 to 5 days, like days 6 through 10. This is where your estrogen rises and the lining of your uterus is starting to build up. This is where you can be the gym baddie boop that you want to be.
This is our favorite phase.
I love this phase. This phase and the next one. This is where you can do those high intensity workouts, high intensity cardio, like running and stuff like that. Don't let these days go to waste, even though I have been this week.
But also, like,
do as I say.
Get your PRs in, baby. If you want a PR, get them in right now.
Nutrition-wise, avocados are really good. Pomegranates are really good. Eggs, cashews, stuff like that. And then you go to my favorite phase, the ovulation phase. And the reason why this is my favorite is because our bodies are so cool. I guess I get excited about this. So this is when your estrogen is peaking and your ovulation occurs. If you want to get a better description of this, go look it up on YouTube to hear like the more scientific terms. I'm just gonna
morph it into Maggie's version.
Yeah. Scientifically speaking, this is where, like I said, your estrogen is at its peak, and this is where the time period where your body is ready to conceive a child. And a woman's physical features will literally change because your pheromones are so strong right now, and like your cheeks will get rosier, your skin's gonna get clearer, your hair is gonna get glossier, your body, like your weight will shift in a way that's like more like feminine and attractive.
Like you literally become more desirable to men.
Yeah. There's been studies
done. We've seen a couple of them, but also I know my sister took a course in college where they personally did this test as well. And they had 2 photos of several different women, but for each of these women, they would have 2 photos. One of them would be taken of her while she was on her period, so in her menstrual phase, and then one would be while she was on her ovulation phase. And the professor did not tell the students anything about that. He just asked them to compare the 2 photos, and he said, "Which photo do you think that this woman looks more attractive in?" So everyone took the vote, and then when everyone was done, he told them about these women and what phases they were in, and every single student said that the picture of when she was in her ovulation stage, she was far more attractive. So this is just proof that a woman's body does drastically change when she's in this phase, and she becomes way just like prettier, more attractive. She's glowing.
So in this stage, salmon is very good for you. Pistachios, eggs, berries, just start infiltrating more of those into what you normally eat. Lastly, we have the luteal phase. This is essentially where the lining in your uterus, it continues to thicken, and it's your body's prepping to shed it all out. And this is also similar to when you're on your period, because this is also a time where you physically feel your body kind of starting to wind down. The diet is similar to what you would eat during your menstrual phase. So it's super interesting. It has worked wonders for me. I guess at the end of the day, just listen to your body.
Yeah, I was going to say all of our bodies are different. I mean, I know we're basically the same person, but there's a lot of things that Maggie does that I don't do because they don't personally work for me. Again, listen to your bodies. Listen to us. Also, I was like thinking about this earlier. It's kind of funny because sometimes when Maggie's on her period and I'm not, and we go to the gym, she's like taking it really slow and chill, and I'm like killing myself. I'm like,
she's judging me.
Maggie, are you okay over there?
I'm literally jealous. I'm like sitting there on the treadmill.
And I literally feel bad. I'm like, why should
I get embarrassed.
I know. I do. I hate going to the gym and doing a light workout because I'm like, everyone thinks that I'm this weak girl. It's so annoying.
So again, I just wanted to say, like, everyone's different. Everyone experiences things differently. The most important thing is just like listen to your body, because it will tell you everything you need to know. You just have to be in tune with it. Just take care of it.
And also, guys, remember, it's you versus you. You're the only one that can make the choices in your life to make your life better or make your life worse. And I'm also going to repeat the words of all of our lovely fitness men, inspirational men, David Goggins, Andy Frisella,
Andy Huberman,
hashtag Huberman husband. All the gang, all of the boys, is to choose your hard, because going to the gym is hard.
Also Mel Robbins.
Oh,
just throw a woman in
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Literally choose your hard. Choose a better hard.
Hard now, easy later.
Hard now, easy later. Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Thank you for joining us again.
If you guys listen to this all the way through, we're gonna be best friends.
So happy.
I will actually bake you cookies if you listen to this all the way through. Healthy cookies.
So thank you for joining.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, guys, if there's anything that you would like to ask us or anything you want us to talk about specifically, either DM us or comment below. We're always thinking of more ideas of things we can talk about.
Yeah, I think our next episode is just going to be purely Q&A questions.
Yes.
We're going to be asking each other questions.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. Our answers are probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Tea Time with the Twins.
We had fun. We hope
had
you did
fun.
too.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.